What's good, everybody? I'm your boy Jam,
And I'm your boy T.
and on today's episode of In Jammies with Jammies, question: is loyalty dead like our brother Nipsey? Let's talk about it.
When you're walking down the street and the show gets old, tune into this show. Jamming with Jam. Jamming with Jam. Jamming with Jam. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's have a moment of silence for our brother Nipsey Hussle.
They killed Nipsey! Yesterday! Keep your memory, nigga! Shitty! Cuz! Going down the drain. What? Hallelujah. We're gonna be here. We'll be hanging out.
That was a long moment.
They killed Nipsey.
Listen, let's talk about this right here. Now, I understand the way life is, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, you reap what you sow. Now, we've always talked about you have to be careful what you do in the beginning because it always catch up to you
In the end.
in the end.
But before we get into that, let me just go on record and state that this was never or ever has been a conspiracy theory about Nipsey Hussle dying. Saying that the government killed Nipsey Hussle and all of these things. Let's just be sure, let's make sure that we go on the record saying that we don't believe that this is some type of conspiracy theory and that the government decided they wanted to kill, excuse me, my bracelet coming off. They wanted to kill Nipsey Hussle.
Because let's get this straight. It has nothing to do with Dr. CB. Okay?
The reports were allocated that it may be true that Nipsey Hussle was putting out a documentary about the 1985 Supreme Court case with Dr. CB and obviously the Supreme Court concerning all of the patients or clients, more like clients, not patients because he wasn't a certified MD, but clients that he healed from the great epidemic back in the 80s of AIDS and HIV.
Which apparently cannot be healed. But everything Dr. CB has been through, every court case, every record, every file, it's public record and it's access to the public all the time. Nipsey Hussle was nothing but more of our age.
He was only 33 years old.
It happened around the time where we were growing up. This is nothing new. We knew this. People are still practicing some of the techniques of Dr. CB.
Of holistic medicine.
This is nothing new. It has nothing to do with Dr. CB.
No.
It's just the cover-up.
We want to, as a black community, believe because he was about to release a documentary about Dr. CB's 1985 Supreme Court case that the government didn't want it out. Well, first off, that doesn't make sense because I knew about Dr. CB's case that was in 1985, some years ago, when I did a study on Dr. CB. There are people who have gone to Dr. CB, as I know of a friend who has a friend who has gone to Dr. CB that has been healed from HIV. So this is nothing new. There are many people that knew about it. We can say that the conspiracy theory also, as well as Lisa Lefty Lopez. But the truth of the matter is, Dr. CB was not something that was hidden. It was for those now that people are just what they want to call awakening or awoke, are starting to discover.
You should have been awoke a long time ago.
Are starting
Go
to
back to sleep.
discover this Dr. CB situation. So at the end of the day, Nipsey Hussle wanting to reveal or release a documentary on Dr. CB has nothing to do with the conspiracy of his murder. Now, quickly, and we'll get into the story, Nick Cannon wants to finish the documentary. This is how I look at it. People such as those folks that are deep into the industry understand something, they're going to water it down for you.
First of all, before you even go there, if he had an interest in doing what Nipsey was doing, why he didn't join the bandwagon when Nipsey was alive? Why do you wait? Suspect, wait for Nipsey to die that you want to continue something that he's done it or
That he started. It makes no sense. We have people like that. So again, this conspiracy has nothing to do with 1985 Supreme Court case with Dr. CB.
or is it the whole crab in a barrel situation?
Crab in the bucket?
Yeah, crab in the bucket, crab in the barrel. Depends on what country lady telling the story. Now, the crab in the bucket and the crab in the barrel is when one crustacean tries to get out the bucket, the other one grabs him by his legs, pull him back in, and step on him to get out. So,
is Nick Cannon using this? Because as we know, for the past couple of years, Nick Cannon decided that he wanted to be pro-black. He wanted to do these movies. He wanted to be more study into the black heritage. So again, this looks a little suspect.
So why you didn't continue Dr. CB with him, or why you didn't investigate it and add it to...
Executive produced the documentary when he decided to...
Exactly.
Since this was your homeboy.
Exactly. Suspect.
So, now with your
Allegedly.
hand, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, and we forget that everybody has a past. And we can sit up here and say, what is the saying they say?
You read what you saw?
Not that. About life being taken so short and I live long.
Life was stolen from you.
Yeah. Well, only God can give life and the only person that can take life. So the devil didn't take Nipsey Hussle's life. We have to remember.
But then that brings the question now of this. Was Nipsey Hussle a follower of God? Because if you were a follower of God, you have the protection of God. So if you wasn't a follower of God and you was serving somebody else, where was their protection? Ponder that for a little bit.
As we know that Nipsey Hussle was a Crip. Which a lot of people who are rappers in the music industry are actually in gangs. We understand that.
But even before you go there, this is what I don't understand. When you make it out and you develop into being something great and something better, why in the world are you still holding on to stuff of your past?
Because they say that just like the infamous blood, the gangs of the Bloods, it's blood in, blood out. You go in making the sacrifice, well, you're going to have to come out making the sacrifice, and it might just be your life.
Well, pause. What's that guy name? He played on Law and Order.
Ice-T. Not Ice Cube, Ice-T.
Ice-T. Wasn't Ice-T a gang member?
Yeah.
And isn't he in Hollywood now? You don't hear nothing about flagging, representing sets, any of that sort.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the problem? Nobody decided to talk to him to find out, because, you know, Ice-T is the OG. So, why nobody talk to Big Homie?
I don't know. That's something I could not answer, nor would want to answer. I just think that, again, as you stated, what you put in, what you sow, what you reap is what you sow. And I think that his life caught up to him. No matter how much we have to remember, this is for everybody, always remember this, is that we try to think because we have given our life over, we have changed our ways,
To do something good.
that what we've done in the past will not ever catch up with us. Well, hear me, when Karma is a bitch, understand that it will catch up to you. What you reap is what you sow. And we forget, no one knows but the people that run in his inner circle what he did before he became the infamous Nipsey Hussle. No one. No one knows what he's done.
You can never throw a
Discount
rock and hide your hand.
and never discount somebody's past, because you don't know what they've done before they became the famous person before the camera, and the one that wants to influence everyone and wants to be the prophet of the hood, or be the Jesus Christ of the hood, or be the Muhammad Allah of the hood. You don't know what these people have done. So we can't sit up here because he's gone to be like, oh my God, he was such a great person. How much of him do you know but what he put out in front of the camera? and what he spoke behind closed doors. Because just like a preacher can stand before you every Sunday and perform and give you a certain act, but Monday through Saturday he could be somebody completely different. Just like we're realizing a lot of these people that we consider to be our artists or to be producers.
But even before you go there, isn't it kind of ironic when you got somebody supposed to be doing good, the preacher, you expose the dirt about them, but when you got somebody that's on the opposite side of the spectrum doing the same entertainment business, they're doing good, but you don't want to expose their dirt.
You want to expose what they were doing and make them a legend. Make them a legend or make them someone who's important to our society or community. When there were many people outside of Nipsy Hussle that have been talking about the pro-black power, like these people that are here in Harlem, New York, that sit up here and have all of these different communities and organizations they put together to help the black people become one, but no one is finding the opportunity or time to come down and report them to say that these are people that are trying to uplift and upbring this community. But you look at someone like Nipsey Hussle, who has a store outside of LA and who decides that he wants to speak up on blacks becoming better people and not us waste our time. But bro, using a gang, and once using that gang, you was around here terrorizing neighborhoods and terrorizing and taking lives from people. What happened to that? Live by the sword, die by the sword. If you was taking people's lives and doing criminal stuff, believe you me, it will catch up to you. It's going to catch up. So there is, for me, bro, and I say this to all of you, and y'all might not like it, but the truth of the matter, he's not a legend.
Oh, you're not gonna like this episode.
He's not a legend, and I'm not bashing him. The truth of the matter is, there's three sides to every story, and the truth is, we're only seeing one side, and that's what he put out. But the truth of you in a gang, nobody lives in a gang and lives a free Scott life like they just peaches and cream, and they're part of the people. What's the people with the red berets on their head? Guardian angels out here in New York back in the 80s. Remember them? They're the Bloods and Crips and the Latin Kings. All these people are not living like them. They're not around here uplifting communities. So, bro, you was doing dirt before you decided you wanted to get into the entertainment. And now all of a sudden you want to get back to the community? That's just, it's like you taking blood money and putting it down on the table and trying to build something.
You can't take dirty money and clean it up and try to do something good with dirty money. It'll never stand. No matter how much of how glamorous it may look, no matter how big it may expand, it will never last because it's built on the wrong substance. If you wanted to be a role model to other folks or to your fellow black brothers or younger brothers, why didn't you drop your colors? Make that announcement. This is what I used to do. This is what I did, and I'm not repping this anymore. I'm moving on with my life. You should move on with your life too. There's a better way out of here. And establish your way. Instead of what the reports say, the guy coming to the store, you call him a snitch. Why are you reverting back to your old ways?
Again, last episode talks about how if you're not living that lifestyle, nor do you have to defend it. You have to defend. So are you snitch. If you have nothing to do with that lifestyle, bro, you are what you are. You ain't gotta dismiss him. You ain't even gotta affiliate yourself with him. But you mad at him because
you could be like, bro, go on with that. I'm not even about that life no more. You could just leave.
Yeah, not get out. You're a snitch. Because what y'all may feel like he may have ratted somebody out to the FBI or whatever, and that's how he got out early. So what?
Everybody want to talk about how hood they are, how thug they are. The hoodlum and the thug lifestyle of today is nothing compared to it was of yesteryear. No matter where you went back in the day, they had a term called loyalty. Loyalty. I'm loyalty to my set, you're loyalty to your set. If we're going to come together to do an event for the community, we're going to come together, put the flags down, do what we got to do. Once the event is over, we pick up our flag and we walk away. That's how loyalty was.
And if he wanted to be, now I'm going to give you an example because it's a story that you told me about how when you were about 16, you had a birthday party and the gang members wanted to come. And your mother just told them they could not come into this party.
That was my story.
Okay,
First of all,
story.
Everybody know when you have a 16th birthday party, you want to have, the banging party. Every female had the sweet 16 party. I'm a boy. I wanted to have the rough 16 party. So I wanted all the roughnecks and the hood dudes. I wanted everybody at my birthday party. I didn't care. I had Bloods, Crips, Folk, Latin King,
whoever, whatever was there.
And check this out. They all came to the party, left their flags at the door. We had a good time. We partied till 4 o'clock in the morning. When we all dispersed, they took their flags and they dispersed. It was a night of fun. You were loyal to who you were, but you were loyal to me, your friend.
So,
Loyalty.
So
What
with that
happened to
said,
loyalty?
this is my point when I started telling this story. Nipsey, if you wanted to be the beacon of light to the community, you would have to have put your flag down, because people would say, "Oh, you can't." No. You would have had to put your flag down, no longer participate in the gang activities, and then if you wanted to be the light, you would be able to bring them together, because now you'll be the middleman to be the peace to bring the community together. You can't bring the community together and you're on one side. You playing one side of the field trying to bring the community of people together. It does not work like that. You cannot be a Crip and trying to get the community to come together when the other side of the community is Bloods. Who's really going to listen to you? You can't speak to a young generation and tell them, don't be out here doing this, But in hindsight, this is what you've done.
Exactly. So
You're becoming an hypocrite. How dare you tell me not to do this, but you're doing it, or you did it. Because that's for the people that would say, y'all are hypocrites, y'all are contradicting yourself, and we're not at all. We're not at all. We stand on the side of right is right. And what's right is, if you wanted to be the beacon, the light, you would have to drop your past. You can't hold on to your past trying to bring it into your future.
you can't. You can't.
It doesn't work like that.
If you need to make an impact, it has to be done on a clean slate. It can't be done on top of mess. Listen, Jennifer Lewis said this, and it was funny to me, and I loved it. I have to repeat it, but I can't say the vigorous words she used. When you're playing doodle long enough, after a while, you won't smell the doodle.
That your body becomes immune to it. And the truth, no matter that's the truth. When you live in caca, or you sit in caca, think about it. When you got caca on the bottom of your sneakers.
Ash, listen, I was walking around all day at work wondering why I smell doodle. And I'm thinking maybe I passed gas and, I had a little boo-boo stain on my pants, or, or somebody was in the office farting in front of the heat.
First off, why would you think you had boo-boo on your pants?
Because you know how
You go around pooping
you know how people shart, they fart and shart at the same time? So I thought I sharted.
That's disgusting.
Listen, it happens. You probably did it too.
Once in my life.
Exactly. So I thought
did it once and actually caca came out and I pooped on myself.
Exactly. Now,
So
now that's nasty.
That is nasty, but I'm just saying.
So I didn't know I had it on my shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm walking around trying to figure out, like, yo, what is that smell? I'm talking about everybody. Like, everybody's still like, check your deodorant or whatever. I'm like, somebody didn't clean between their booty cheeks. I don't know what it was.
And it's that loud.
Yes, it was that loud.
Through their drawers and their pants.
Yes,
Caca was that loud.
it was that loud. And we was in a small room, so it made it even worse. So when I got outside,
You still smell
the Holy
caca.
Ghost said, look at your shoe. And when I looked at my shoe, I had a little bit of boo-boo on my shoe. And it was loud. It was dog doodle. Curb your dogs, by the way. Because there should be no reason why I got to walk outside my house and step in your dog doodle and then put it in my vehicle, put it in my house, put it at my workspace. That's an insult to my very nature. That hurts my soul.
That's an insult to everybody around you.
That hurts my soul.
Because
Okay?
that means you gotta walk around smell like boo boo and they gotta smell your boo boo.
And I'm like, yo, I know I smell good, but I smell boo-boo.
That's disgusting.
Listen, it's life.
So,
Curve your dog.
imagine you, going back to the original story.
I can't help it.
Imagine you that you're walking around with boo boo on the bottom of your sneaker and you can smell it. It's
Oh yeah, that's
so
what we talking about. I forgot.
loud.
I'm sorry. I forgot.
It's so loud. But the more you walk around and do not attend to it, the less the stench becomes. So at that, when you can smell boo boo for so long, your nose and your body system becomes immune to it. So when you're doing dirt for so long, eventually you become immune to it, and it just is what it is. You can't live in mess. Who gonna want to be around somebody playing in mess? But people who live in mess are playing in mess. That's just the nature. We attract those that are just like us. Who tried to what I'm looking for is They try to forget it. They try to make it seem like what you're doing is right because that's what they're doing. Birds of a feather flock together, and there was nothing right about you living in a gang, being in a gang, and trying to uplift a community of people, because uplifting has to do with empowerment. Empowerment has to do with enlightening. You cannot live in dark and try to enlighten people.
You can't do it. So, the moral of Nipsey Hussle life is, if you want to be great, you have to put down the set. Put down the colors.
Put down the past.
Put down the past. All because your past is coming to get you when you least
expect it.
So what you have to do, you can't go back and change the past. The past is the past. But what you can do is move on from the past, take the power out of the past, and live your life. You have to change. You can't have your life still exhibit your past. It don't work that way.
So when they try to tell you duality is right, hear me wrong. Let Nipsey Hussle be the very example of duality. Light and dark, good and evil cannot coexist
In the same individual.
There is good and there is evil in everybody, but it is what you choose to serve.
But now here's how this goes. There's good and evil in every person, but what happens is you have to choose one or the other. Either you gonna be good and shun evil, because evil will follow, but evil don't have to be you. Or you can be evil and shun good, because good will follow. If you have both of those things in you trying to get you, one philosopher said a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
You can't live both lifestyles.
You'll be considered, under medical terms, bipolar, schizophrenic, paranoid. And then before you know it, when you get high, like the Tyler Perry movie talking about you chasing a white cat or a white rabbit is after you and you running and you be like, no, that's a possum. And you know, you running in the household conflict. No. You got to get it together. You got to get it together. If we want to take this man and learn the lesson from this man, light or darkness, right or wrong.
We cannot be lukewarm, because in between never works.
Never works.
Never works. So choose your path, the red or the blue pill. Remember, there are 3 sides to every story.
Mine,
yours,
and the truth. But the truth will always prevail. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you can be notified when we're on. And don't forget, share the love. And we will comment and reply back to your comments. See you soon.
When you're walking down the street and the show gets old, tune into this show. Jamming with Jam.